Hi, and welcome back. My name is Michelle. This is part 2 in a 3-part series where we are taking the same sequence but applying it a little bit differently. So in part 1, we had a vinyasa style practice where we had no modifications and no props. Here in part 2, we will have tons of modifications for various poses, and we will be using props. So the props I have with me today, I have 2 blocks, a strap, a bolster, and a blanket. If you don't have those props, that's not a problem. These will be used as suggestions for how you can use them, how you can bring the ground closer to you, how you can make your body feel a little more comfortable in certain poses. Part 3 will be taking, again, the same sequence and modifying it for chair yoga. So in the 3rd series, it will be completely seated, no standing postures. So if that's something you prefer, then check out part 3 instead of this class. So this will be a 45-minute session, and we will begin in a seated position. So for me, I am actually going to sit on my blanket. So I have my folded up blanket, and I will place my hips on it just to give it a little more height, so that way my hips can be a little bit higher than my knees. You can sit on the bolster or a pillow, or you can even sit on one of your blocks. So just as in video 1, we will start by sitting up tall. Maybe you close your eyes, maybe you soften your gaze. We'll just take a moment to observe. So notice how you feel in your body, noticing if you're holding tension anywhere, and maybe you need to soften. Shifting your focus to your breath. Starting to lengthen the inhales and exhales, breathing just through your nose. We'll do a little bit different style breath right now. So place one hand on your heart, the other on your belly. Inhale, breathing into the hand on your belly. So expanding the belly, expanding up to the chest. Exhale, releasing it all out. Again, inhaling, filling into the belly. Feel the hand into the chest. Feel the hand on your heart. Exhale, emptying it all out. One more time, like you're filling up a balloon. Inhale, expanding, not just into the front, but into the sides of the body, up into the chest. Exhale, release, let it all go. Dropping the hands down by your sides. Continue to try to find those even, deep breaths. If your eyes are closed, maybe slowly blink them open. Starting with some shoulder rolls. Inhale, draw the shoulders up and release them down your spine. Again, inhale, draw them up. Exhale them down. Last time, inhale up. Exhale, release. Switching direction, so bringing them towards the back of the room and then up and down towards the front. 2 more times. Inhale up, forward, and down. Inhale, up, forward, and down. Letting them just stay in stillness. We'll drop the right ear towards the right shoulder. Allow the chin to drop to the chest. Bringing the left ear, left shoulder. Allowing the head to come back through center. One more time, opposite direction, starting with the left ear to the shoulder. Chin down to the chest. Right ear, right shoulder. Bring your head back up through neutral. Inhale, reaching both arms up overhead. We'll place the right hand down, reaching the left fingertips over to the right side, stretching out the side body. If you can't bend this far, if that feels uncomfortable, maybe stay a little more up, making sure the arm is extended and reaching so you still find or feel that space on the left side. Both arms reach high to the sky, dropping the left hand down this time. Again, reaching, extending. So again, maybe it's not bending as much as it's reaching and extending up high. Beautiful. Bringing both arms up. Again, if your arms can't reach all the way up, maybe you're bringing them out wide. We'll add a twist, twisting over to the right side. Maybe both hands just sit on the outside of that right leg. Your chest is lifted, so you're sitting up tall. Coming back through center, arms reach up, and we'll twist over to the left side. Inhale through center, arms reach high. Exhale, hands come on the floor in front of you. If the hands don't reach the floor, maybe you just leave them on the knees, dropping the head down towards the mat. Rounding the spine. Use the core. Inhale, rise up. We'll go through that whole sequence 2 more times, starting with the side bends to the right. Reaching up, so follow your breath. Side bend to the left. Inhale, reach. Exhale, twist. So first we're twisting right. Reaching up high. Twisting to the left. Inhale, reach it up. Exhale, fold forward. One more time through. Inhale, arms come up. Exhale, we side bend. So side bend to one side and then the other. Again, using your breath as your guide. Your breath tells you how fast or how slow that you go. We take twists after the side bends. This time when we fold forward, we roll onto the hands and knees. If you had a bolster or block behind you, go ahead and set them aside. Maybe if your knees are sensitive, you can take a blanket, place them under your knees, coming to tabletop. Our fingertips are spread wide. If this is too intense on your wrists, you can always come onto your fists, another great option. Starting with some cats and cows. Inhale, dropping the belly, gazing forward. That's our cow pose. Exhale, tuck the tailbone, round the spine. That's our cat. A few more times. Inhale, looking forward. Exhale, round. Inhale, looking forward. Exhale, round. One more time. Inhale, coming forward. Exhale, round. Finding that neutral tabletop. I'm bringing my hands back flat. You can still stay on those fists though. Extend the right leg out behind you, pointing and flexing the foot. Rolling around the ankle, and taking it the opposite direction. Flexing the foot, think about reaching the heel to the back of the room, crown of the head reaching forward. Exhale, squeeze the knee and nose together. Inhale, extend long. 2 more times. Squeeze while you round the back. Extend out long. One more time, knee and nose squeeze together. Extend the leg out. Drop the knee down. Switching sides, extending the left leg this time. Start by finding the ankle movements, pointing and flexing, rolling it around, drawing little circles both ways, flexing the foot, reaching it far, far behind you, drawing the knee and nose together. Inhale, extend. Exhale, round. One more time. Reach it out, stretch it out. Exhale, roll. Inhale, reach. Exhale, drop that knee down. Let's take a cat and cow. Gazing up, inhaling. Exhale, rounding. Neutral tabletop. Extend that right arm out to the side, reaching it up to the sky. Exhale, threading that hand between the left wrist and left knee. What you can do, you'll see it better on the other side. When you bring that back of your shoulder down, you can rest it on a block or a bolster if it doesn't reach the floor. So this way it does have a spot to reach or rest, and you don't have to work it as much. This way you can focus on getting the stretch. Taking a few breaths here. Pressing yourself back up, right arm reaches high, allowing it to land on the ground. Taking one cow and cat, gazing up and gazing back. Neutral tabletop, left hand reaches out to the side and up, maybe you gaze up. Exhale, bring it through. Again, letting that shoulder rest. Here I'm letting my shoulder rest on the block. My hips are still up towards the sky. I'm still breathing. Pressing your way back up, reaching the arm up, allowing it to float down towards the ground. One more cow and cat. Coming to the neutral tabletop. The next thing we'll do is move into child's pose. Bring the knees wide on the mat, big toes to touch. You can take your blanket or bolster, place it behind the knees, allowing your hips a spot to rest. That's one option. If you're not comfortable pushing your hips all the way back, you can keep your hips up high. The arms extend out a little bit further and your chest is dropping down towards the mat. Maybe the forearms are on the mat. So a couple variations here of this child's pose. You could also bring the knees a little bit closer together if you're not comfortable with the knees out wide. We'll stay here for a few breaths. If you have a prop behind your legs, go ahead and set it aside. We are tucking our toes, hips coming up and back, downward facing dog. So downward facing dog can be a very challenging pose. A lot of people call it a resting pose. That's not really the case. There's a lot happening here. This can be very intense on the wrists, the shoulders, the legs. So figure out what's bothering you and what feels uncomfortable, and we'll take some modifications. So first thing here, you can bring your feet wide. So if you need your feet to be wider on the mat, you can do that. You can bend the knees. You can walk the hands a little bit closer to the feet so it's not as wide of a length. You can bring the hands wider. If your shoulders hurt, turn the fingertips out towards the sides. So again, everyone will look different in their downward facing dog. If this is too much on your wrists, you can always come down onto your forearms, which is another challenging pose. This is a version of dolphin. It's always an option. Last thing you can do If you don't like the dolphin and you need some forearm or you need some wrist relief, you can bring your hands to blocks. And that's always a great place to be because it gives you more space, again, bringing the ground closer to you. So I always like downward facing dog with some blocks. From here, we'll all look between our hands and take a whole bunch of steps to get us to the top of the mat. Inhale, lifting halfway, slide the hands up the shins. Exhale, fold. So we're starting in ragdoll, so I'm not going to use my blocks. I'll bring my feet hips width apart, bend my knees, maybe just grab opposite elbows and sway side to side. And shake my head. Just make sure I'm not holding any tension in the neck. Next, if you grab opposite elbows, drop the hands down. Inhale, slide the hands up the shins, flatten the back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise up to standing, sweep the arms up overhead. Grabbing the left wrist, let's bend over to the right side. Firmly pressing the feet down into the mat. Feel the whole body stretching on the left side. Inhale, reach the arms high. Grabbing the left wrist or the right wrist, we're bending over to the left side. Notice how you're compressing the left side of your body as you're opening the right. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, bend the elbows. Squeeze the shoulder blades together, opening up through the chest. This is our goddess pose. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, hands come together at heart center. We will do 3 sun salutation A's, and we'll have variations in each one. Inhale, reach the arms up overhead. Exhale, bend the knees, start to hinge forward at the hips as you fold. This is where we can use blocks. You can place the blocks under your hands, whether they're on a low, medium, or high height, whatever you like. Inhale, lift halfway, so flatten the back. Exhale, fold. Stepping your feet back, so we have the high plank with or without blocks. You can drop down onto the knees. Let's lower down all the way onto our bellies. I'm placing the blocks aside. Hands stay under the shoulders. Inhale, start to straighten. You can straighten your arms a little or a lot, your choice. Either way, what we're doing is we're drawing the shoulders together, opening up through the chest. Pressing back up to that modified plank, to tabletop. Tuck the toes under, hips come high, downward facing dog. So we're in that downward facing dog pose again, staying here for 3 breaths. Inhale, look between your hands. Exhale, step, step, step to the top of the mat. Inhale, lift halfway, look up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, bend the knees, sweep the arms high to the sky. Exhale, press the palms together, hands to heart center. Beautiful. We'll do that 2 more times. Inhale, reach the arms up high to the sky, looking up. Exhale, bend the knees, swan dive, forward fold. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, plant the hands, stepping your feet back. This time I'm dropping down to my knees. Maybe I don't want to do that little lower and the push-up. Instead, you can do a cat and cow. So you can inhale and then exhale. And after you exhale, you can tuck the toes, hips come back up, downward facing dog. See how easy that is? Holding here for a few breaths. So focus on the deep inhales and exhales through the nose. Look between the hands, bend the knees, and then step, step, step all the way to the top of the mat. Inhale, lifting halfway. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, reach the arms up high to the sky. Exhale, press the palms together, hands come to heart center. One more time, we'll take it to tempo, so follow your breath. Inhale, reach the arms up, look up if you can. Exhale, bend the knees, melt your heart forward. Inhale, lifting halfway. Exhale, stepping your feet back, finding whatever version of a vinyasa you want. I'm lowering my knees. Inhale, finding a cow. Exhale, finding a cat, tucking my toes, downward facing dog. 3 breaths here. With that next inhale, look between the hands, bend the knees, walking to the top of your mat. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reach those arms high to the sky. Press the palms together. They come together at heart center. Nice job. Placing the hands on our hips. Let's step that left foot back. I'll come back so that you can see my feet are on the blocks. So the feet are a little bit wider than hips distance. All 10 toes facing forward. Inhaling, reaching your arms high to the sky. Exhale and fold. For this one, I'm going to hold on to my blocks, giving me a spot, again, so the floor comes closer to me. Option to always place your hand on your thigh, on your shin, somewhere that feels right for you. Drawing that right hip back. Inhaling, looking up, stepping the left foot up to meet the right one. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, we're sweeping the arms up high to the sky. Exhale, hands to your heart. Stepping the right foot back this time. So pyramid pose or intense leg stretch on the other side. Reaching the arms overhead. Folding forward so you hinge at the hips. Hands land wherever they make sense to land. Blocks your shins, your thigh. Pulling that left hip back. Seeing if your weight is evenly distributed between both feet. Take a little bend in the left leg. Right foot steps up to meet it. Inhale, lifting halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, stand tall. Those arms reach high to the sky. Exhale, hands to your heart. Again, sweep the arms up, growing tall. Exhale, folding forward. Inhale, lifting halfway. Exhale, hands to the mat or to your blocks. Taking a step back with the left foot. Dropping the back knee down. Untuck the toes. And then we're coming up for a low lunge. So if your shoulders are really tight and this motion of the arms up high are getting to be too much, you can keep your hands on the thigh or maybe your hands on your hips. Either way, our chest is facing forward, our shoulder blades are drawing back. Straightening the right leg, the hips shift back, I'm grabbing my blocks. The right toes are facing up towards the sky. If you're not comfortable folding forward, you can keep the hands up on the hips, or maybe place the blocks on the highest height and leave your fingertips on the blocks. Bending the knee so the foot is flat. Untucking the back toes, so you're lifting the left knee up. Your hands can be on blocks. Reaching the right hand high to the sky, taking a twist. Option to always bring that left knee back down if you prefer. Drop the right hand down. If you put the left knee down, lifting it up, stepping forward. If you need to take multiple steps forward, you can always take multiple steps forward. Let's inhale, lift halfway, looking up. Exhale, fold. Big step back with the right foot this time. Releasing the knee down. Hands coming wherever it feels good, whether it's your hips, your thighs, up overhead. Coming back to that breath. So do you have those even inhales and exhales through your nose? Hands come down to the blocks of the floor. Straighten that front leg. I'm moving the blocks back to be with me. I'm flexing my left toes, so pulling them towards my face. If you need to soften the knee a little bit, because that's a lot on the hamstring, you can always soften that knee. Bending the knees so the foot is flat. My blocks are moving forward. Lifting the back knee up if you desire. Reaching the left hand high to the sky. So your right ribs are down, facing down towards the ground, and then your left ribs are facing up. Drop the hand down to the ground or block, stepping the right foot forward. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep the arms high to the sky. Exhale, palms come together, hands come to your heart. Inhale, reach the arms up, look up. Exhale, swan dive, forward fold. Inhale, lifting halfway. Exhale, plant the hands, stepping the feet back. Finding a vinyasa, I'll drop down onto my knees this time, maybe lower down onto my belly, straightening my arms a little bit, tucking my toes, coming through tabletop, hips coming up, downward facing dog. I'm going to keep a hold on to my blocks for now. Inhale, reach the right leg high to the sky, 3-point. Exhale, stepping the right foot between your hands so the blocks help to give me some height. Inhale, reaching the arms overhead. If you feel a little wobbly, you can bring that back leg a little bit wider. If this is too intense of a stretch in the leg, you could always come out of it a little bit. You don't have to bend the knee as deep. Opening up to a warrior two. Pressing the blade of the left foot down into the ground. Again, if you need to straighten that leg a bit or a lot, you can always straighten that front leg. Dropping the left hand down, flip that right palm up, sweep it up and back. Peaceful warrior. Exhale, we're coming down to a side angle where this time maybe I place my forearm on my thigh, or maybe I place my hand on the block. And the left hand is reaching up towards the sky. Or maybe the fingertips reach towards the front of the room. Inhale, coming up, warrior two. Exhale, placing the hands down on the ground, stepping that right foot back, finding your vinyasa. I'm going to take a cow and a cat. And then send my hips up, downward facing dog. Left side, reaching the leg up high. Exhale, you can bring your leg out to the side if you want and bringing the foot around. So that way you're doing some more external rotation to get that foot forward. Inhale, reach the arms up, crescent lunge. Opening it up for warrior two. Left hand forward, right hand back. Squeezing those shoulder blades together. Drop the right hand to the back of the right leg. Flip the palm up, reaching it back. If it's too much to bring the hand up high, bring it as high as it will go, as high as it's comfortable. Option always, straighten that front leg if you want to. Coming into side angle, my left forearm's coming to my thigh. Right arm reaching up, then all the way over. Feeling that nice long line of energy from my pinky finger of the right hand all the way down my body. Coming up, warrior two. Cartwheeling the hands down to the ground, stepping the foot back. And again, maybe I need to step a couple of times before I come down. I'll drop to my knees. This time I'll lower down, straighten my arms just a little bit, cobra pose. Coming back through tabletop. Hips are up, downward facing dog. Nice job. Coming down to a child's pose if you prefer child's pose for a few breaths. Inhale, lift between your hands. Exhale, bending the knees, taking steps to the top of the mat. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, stand tall, arms reach high to the sky. Exhale, hands to your heart. So this is where we did our balance poses. We'll start by shifting the weight into the left leg. You can draw the knee up, stork pose. And maybe you stay right here. Maybe you work on the balance here. Or maybe you go over towards a wall. Or You can extend the leg out behind you. You can keep your hands at heart. You can reach them forward for that warrior three. Or maybe you bring them down to blocks. I love blocks here. Toes facing down towards the ground. We're coming back up, but maybe you need to touch down first. So maybe let that right toe touch before it comes back up. We're crossing that right leg over the left one, bending the knees, taking the hips low. So this is a great spot to put a block to let your toe rest on. So I like this with our eagle pose. And then arms open wide, right arm under left. I'm going to take an option for just a yogi hug this time instead of wrapping the arms. This is a great option too, still opening up through those shoulders, the back of the shoulders. Let's unwind and release, shaking it out. Nice job. Starting with the left leg coming up now, so placing the hands together, shift the weight into the right foot. Drawing the left leg up. So your knee can come up to hip height. Maybe you keep it down lower, kind of just let the toe touch. If you want, you're going to hinge forward at the hips. The leg extends out behind you. Flex the foot. Arms can reach out in front, out to the sides, or maybe down towards your blocks. You can always drop that foot down if you need to drop the foot down. Coming back up. Again, maybe you take a couple of toe taps before you come up. Centering yourself, lifting the knee, wrapping it around. Again, I'm using a block for my foot to rest on. Extend the arms out. This time the left arm goes underneath, and I'm taking that big yoga hug. Beautiful. Let's unwind, shake it out. I'll place the blocks aside, taking a big step back with the left foot. All 10 toes facing the corners of your mat, reaching your arms up high to the sky. Exhale, bending the elbows, bending the knees, hips sink down low, goddess pose. We're not modifying this one. Inhale, up for star. 2 more times. Exhale it down. Inhale, reach it high. Exhale it down. Placing the hands on the thighs. Let's dip the shoulder down. First the right, and then the left, and then the right, and then the left. Beautiful job. Standing it up, reaching the arms up. Hands come to your heart, turning the toes to face forward. Step to the top of your mat. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, folding forward. Inhale, lifting halfway. Exhale, let's bend the knees, come all the way down, placing the hands behind us so we come into a seated position. So we are doing those boat poses. Let me move my block. So we are going to start, instead of the feet flat, let's bring the heels of the feet down, and then the toes are lifted up. Your chest is lifted up, and we are going to lean back. So this is option 1. We're engaging our core. So it's not like we aren't doing the work. If this is okay on your low back, maybe you try to lift one foot. Maybe you try the other foot. Maybe you try both feet. If that's too much, maybe your hands hold behind your thighs. Whatever you're doing, you want the chest lifting up. Nice job. We want to try to lower to canoe, but maybe you drop the heels down. Maybe you drop the back down. Keep the shoulders up. And again, maybe you have one heel lifted. Maybe you have the other heel lifted. Maybe you try to straighten the legs a little bit so you're still engaging the core. Nice. Let's place our arms down onto the ground. Use the forearms to press yourself back up. Finding your version of boat pose. Still breathing. We don't want to hold our breath when we hold these poses. I'm going to round on down, keeping my shoulders lifted. I'll extend my legs out a little bit. I'll try to lift one foot, and then the other. We got to do that one more time. So pressing your forearms down, helping to lift up. Your version of boat pose. One more time. Lifting the chest. Breathing in and out. Breathing through the nose still. Dropping the heels, lowering the back, extending the legs out a little bit long, still engaging the core, even if your legs aren't fully lifted. And release and let it go. Beautiful job. Drawing the knees in towards your chest. Taking little rocks side to side. So we will take those bridge poses. I'm actually going to use a block for mine though. So bringing the heels close to the glutes. I will lift my hips up. Slide the block under it. And then let my hips rest on the block. So I'm letting the block do the work for me. If your hips were up, slowly lower them down. Readjusting your feet. Pressing the hips up one more time. Palms firmly into the ground. I know mine aren't, but it's because I got the block holding me up. If you are in the block or bolster, you can just let it stay there. Otherwise, lower down. We'll take one more, bringing the heels close to your butt cheeks. On an inhale, press the hips high to the sky, as high as you can get them. Exhale, slowly lower down. If you have that block, lift the hips. Go ahead and remove it. Let it come to the side. Drawing the knees into your chest. Maybe rocking side to side. And then rocking forward and back, forward and back. Coming up to a seated position. I am grabbing my strap for this. If you feel like you're rounding your spine, you can sit on a block or sit on a bolster. I'll sit on the block just to show you. On the lowest height, sitting on the block so that my hips are now tilting a little more forward. So that'll feel better on my low back. I'm also going to take a strap around the bottoms of my feet. Sitting up tall, and then I fold forward. Holding onto the straps, letting my head just hang down towards my legs. Option to bend the knees a little bit if you need to bend the knees. Inhale, slowly coming up. If you want, keep the strap around the bottom of the right foot, bringing the bottom of the left foot next to the right thigh. I'm actually not going to sit on the block for this because this is not as comfortable for me. What I am going to do, though, is I'm going to let that left knee rest on the block. Sitting up tall and folding forward. Again, if you need to soften that front right leg, you can soften the right knee. Breathing into the stretch. Slowly coming up, releasing the strap if you're holding on to it. We are going to let the left foot come flat on the ground with the knee pointed up. We're simply taking the right arm and we are going to wrap it around that left leg. So it's a little bit gentler of a twist than what we did in the previous session. Your chest is still up, lifting high, the crown of your head reaching high to the sky. Wonderful. Let's unwind, extend the left leg, taking the strap around the bottom of the foot, if that's comfortable for you, and placing the block under that right knee. So bend the right knee so the foot is on the side of the left leg. Again, sitting up tall, and exhale and fold. Slowly coming up. Releasing the strap, the right foot comes flat. My left arm is wrapping around that right leg, and my chest is twisting over to the right side. That left foot is still active, so I'm flexing the foot, toes coming back towards my torso. Unwind, gazing forward. I'm removing the strap, extending the right leg long, rolling down onto my back, hugging the knees into the chest, rocking side to side. We'll take a spinal twist, dropping the legs over to the right, extending the left arm out long. Maybe you gaze at the left fingers. Again, starting to slow down the breath. Still using those even inhales and exhales. Let's see if you can calm down the nervous system. Lifting those knees back up and letting them just fall over to the left side. Option to extend the right arm out. Maybe you gaze over at the fingers. Drawing the knees up through center, hugging them in towards your chest, maybe moving side to side. So if you want, you can use a strap for happy baby. You bring around the bottoms of your feet, your head and shoulders relax down on the ground, and lift the feet up to the sky. Bring the feet as wide as is comfortable, and bending the knees as much as is comfortable. So if it's a challenge for you to grab your feet with your hands, this is a great way to make it happen. And then again, you can rock side to side. Getting the same benefits and feeling the same sensations as if I wasn't using the strap. Maybe I try to straighten one leg and then straighten the other, just like before. This is actually fun with the strap. And then once you're finished, drawing the knees in towards your chest, allowing the strap to come down over off to the side, hugging the knees in one more time. And then for Shavasana, we can use our props if we want. Maybe you place the bolster. If you have a smaller bolster, you can place it under your knees. With a bigger bolster, maybe you just let the backs of your calves rest on the bolster. Maybe you use a blanket under your head. So just making yourself comfortable. And once you arrive in that shape where you want to take your final rest, maybe you soften the gaze. We'll take one more breath together. Inhale deeply through the nose. Exhale through the mouth this time, side out. Allowing your mind and body to enjoy the next few moments of rest. Slowly bring awareness back to your body. Inviting small movements into your fingers and your toes, your wrists and your ankles, your arms and your legs. Maybe you reach the arms overhead for a full body stretch. Bring one knee into your chest and then the other, rolling onto your side, gently pressing yourself up to a seated position one more time. Maybe your legs are crossed, maybe they're out long. Once you arrive, maybe you close the eyes or soften the gaze. Just noticing how your body feels after integrating your breath and your movement. Hopefully modifying in a way that felt right in your body. Bringing the hands together, so pressing the thumb knuckles in towards your chest. Thank you for joining me and allowing me to guide you through your practice. The light in me sees and honors the divine light in you. We bring our hands to third eye center and bow to each other. Namaste. Again, if you prefer to have a practice without props, check out part 1 of this 3-part series. And if you need something where there isn't as much movement and you prefer to sit in a chair, check out part 3, where again, it's the same grouping of poses, but all seated in a chair.